Hello, this is Epic Horror Fans, and I'm Danny, and today I'm doing Horror Movie of the Week. So anyways, I just got done watching Lords of Salem, and out of request by the Epic Horror Fans of the channel, because there's AJ Punk 15, Spider Jack Angel, and JT's Reborn, and myself, all members of Epic Horror Fans, and they asked me to review Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem. So I just got done watching the movie, and here's my review on it. I gotta say, I was surprised at how much I actually kind of enjoyed this movie. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, and it wasn't the best Rob Zombie movie I've ever seen. It's probably my least favorite out of his series. I still enjoyed this movie more than his cartoon film that he made. It's not as good as House of Thousand Corpses or Devil's Rejects or Halloween or even Halloween 2. Lords of Salem is a very unique film. This is really an indie film, and this is where a lot of his originality comes into play. There was a lot of really cool stuff I actually did like in this movie, and there's a lot of stuff that I felt could have made the film better, I suppose. There was a lot of cool imagery in this film, and the movie kind of reminded me a little bit of Jacob's Ladder, minus the whole military concept going on, but it kind of begs the question, is it all in her mind, or is she actually part of kind of this witch cult? I mean, of course, I think they were witches, because otherwise they wouldn't go after her, or was it just this whole witch cult thing, and then maybe it was all in her mind? I think they were witches, that's what I'm getting from, but you could look at it from different perspectives, of course. And this film has a lot of cool imagery in it and a lot of messed up stuff going on. There's like this one part where she goes in this room and there's like this giant Sasquatch guy walking around. And then there's this other part where she goes into the church and there's like this midget and it kind of looks like a chicken, I guess, and it's like, ah! And then it's like attaching onto her and you're like, what the hell is going on in this movie? There's a lot of insanity. It's almost a cross between like if like The Shining and Jacob's Ladder had like some kind of like messed up like kid or something. That's kind of like this movie. The whole concept of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of reminded me of The Shining. And I remember seeing a interview with Rob Zombie saying that he kind of borrowed a little bit from The Shining, and I think that's kind of like, the whole, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday thing. Maybe that's what he was trying to get at, that there was kind of like a landscape or art direction of almost The Shining where the camera just almost like brings you in. There's like really cool camera shots actually in this film that I really enjoyed. I gotta say it's really well filmed. There's a couple of scenes that seem kind of blurry that kind of feel like it wasn't in focus, and I don't know like if Rob Zombie was there for the editing process, but I almost feel like the ending of the movie didn't quite feel right. I mean, we're left on like a really creepy note. I mean, the ending of the movie is okay, spoiler alert, because I'm just going to tell you guys straight out here. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it's not going to like spoil the entire film for you. But I'm just going to tell you what happens at the end of the movie. They have these like, like the witches, and they're like smiling, and then her eyes are all like white, right? And like there's like this really creepy moment. And then all of a sudden it goes to the flashback of her happy with her dog. And that almost like destroyed it for me, because it was like something, like if it ended on that note and it went to the credits and just like a blank screen, I think that would have been much creepier than like going to like her playing with her dog. It almost went from like a creepy moment to almost like an insanely happy moment, trying to say like this is how things were. And they kind of did that almost in Rob Zombie's Halloween film. That actually really worked with like the kid playing around and stuff at the end of the credits. Like that was like the perfect moment. Where in this film it almost seemed kind of forced. Like it seemed like it shouldn't have ended on that note. I think it could have ended on a much more of a creepy note. And that's one of the complaints about that I had. One of my favorite moments in the movie was when Shirley, the actress Shirley Moon Zombie, she was in this room, and all of a sudden, the picture on her wall started to like bleed, and they had like these different faces, and each one had blood coming out of the eyes. I thought that was really cool. Like I've never seen that in like a movie before. I thought that was insanely creepy. And there are a lot of creepy moments in this film that I really did like, actually, and some really weird, messed up stuff, which I thought was interesting, like the chicken baby. It's almost like so funny yet so creepy at the same time. I like moments like that where they have like weird, like original things going on, and like Rob Zombie's films, like even like House Thousand Corpses with like Tiny, like the messed up guy walking around. That was kind of creepy. Some of the characters in it kind of reminded me of Tiny a little bit, like kind of like a burnt face. Basically, they had these burnt faced people with like no eyeballs, and like it's really messed up. I thought the actresses that played the witches were really creepy, actually. And the scene where they hit the guy with the frying pan, like whoa, like beat him to death with a frying pan. What? And I like the music. I really enjoyed the music in the movie. That's the one thing I gotta say that this film has going for it. I like how they played the Doors, and then they go into like way more creepy like music, and the song at the end of the movie is like terrifying yet happy at the same time. It's almost bizarre, but like this isn't a movie that I would buy. This isn't my favorite Rob Zombie film, not by far. I give this film a 6 out of 10. It's a rental for me. I would say rent this movie. You might hate this movie. You might enjoy this movie. I know some people that love this movie. I know some people that hate this movie. I know that my friend JT is Reborn hates this movie. But I see this is more like an art film, where like Rob Zombie's trying to do something like totally original and like do his own thing. And I like what the film was trying to do, but he was kind of going for more of a theatrical feel, where most of his films they're just like really intense. But that's almost what I like about Rob Zombie films, is that they're always really, really intense. And I almost felt like this film kind of lacked his intensity of his, past films. But it is still a pretty original film, and I did enjoy the imagery of the film. I enjoyed the music. I liked how all the music was composed in the film, and I like how it tied into this whole concept of what if the witches really were witches. I mean that's what the film's about. It's about the Salem witch trials, and it's about what if they were actually real, and that's what this film was about. So I would say, go out and see this film. You might hate it, you might love it, but hey, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I'm going to say, check it out. Have an awesome night, everybody.